Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Sigourney. Just hit the red subscribe button down below to keep getting videos from me in the future. So today I finally decided I'm going to do this video about all the questions / statements that people have directed to me being a vegan. I get a lot of these. People are constantly questioning my lifestyle because it isn't seen as normal. It's not how a lot of people were raised, so people have quite a few questions about it. So I'm going to compile all the questions and statements into this video with my answers and responses to them, so hopefully it answers a few more questions out there. Also, just a disclaimer that these are my opinions completely. These are not the opinions of other vegans or other people I have talked to. This is from my own research and articles online that have been backed up, so please don't get offended if this doesn't agree with your vegan opinion also. You can pop any questions that you have in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Just remember that when writing questions and responding to people, when your lifestyles aren't the same, to do it with respect and with kindness, because we're trying to do it to inform people and to give more information, not to challenge or degrade someone's lifestyle. Question number 1. What made you go vegan / why are you vegan? Alright, so my vegan story I'm going to try to summarize pretty briefly for you. 2 years ago I decided to go vegetarian, mainly because I made the connection that we've segregated these animals into pets and food, and the connection just didn't seem like it was there. And I did a lot of research about that and how we keep our dog and we love them and they're part of our family, and then we slaughter animals daily to feed ourselves. From there, it then stemmed to researching about how I could sustain myself on a plant-based diet and not contribute to the murder of all these animals. And then in 2016, at the start, I went to Brisbane for a few months with my best mate Ellie, and we were obviously completely responsible for buying our own food. And from there I decided to make the switch to vegan. I made the connection on how, for me, being vegetarian wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I was doing enough for the animals, and that there were a whole another range of industries and processes that weren't being spoken for while I was being vegetarian. And so I decided to then transition into vegan, and I've been vegan for a year now. But then I researched into the health of a vegan diet and how it's extremely sustainable for the planet, and most importantly just really tapped into my compassion and my empathy, that as our instincts are to love, they've kind of been suppressed as we've been taught what animals are food, and I really kind of let those come out in how much I really love animals and the planet and other people. And it just started making a lot of sense that on this vegan diet I can truly embrace everyone and everything and the planet with true genuine love. Number 2. So how long are you doing this for? Forever. Number 3. Why do you think you're better than the rest of us? I don't think I am better than anybody else. In fact, by choosing my vegan diet, I'm actually pulling myself down to the level of the animals and the rest of the sentient beings in this world. It's been shown to me that people who follow an omnivore diet seem like they hold themselves above everyone else and above the animals by believing that animals are there for their disposal, we're put on the planet for them, they have the right to use them, to breed them, to slaughter them as they wish, to sell them, to make money, to use them for entertainment, to use them for clothes, etc. So it actually appears like those people hold themselves higher than the animals and everyone else, where I've pulled myself down to be equal with the sentient beings, because that's how I view myself. I'm not better than them, they're not there for me to use. We're all equal in this planet and we all share it together. Number 4. If you were on a deserted island with a pig, would you eat the pig? Oh god, this question always comes up, and it's always from people who eat meat, and it always feels like they are trying to trip us up to saying, in certain circumstances, yes, we would eat meat. My answer is no, I wouldn't. I would eat whatever the pig's eating to survive. Number 5. Where do you get your protein? Your body builds protein inside itself with the use of these amino acids. There is no way for someone to be protein deficient unless they are not getting enough food. So people who are eating very, very low calories, or people who are anorexic or bulimic and are just not eating enough amino acids to create those proteins, that's how they'll be deficient. There is no way by not eating meat or dairy or eggs you're going to be protein deficient. It's only if you don't eat enough food. Number 6. It was a happy cow, it had a good life. I hate this question. I hate this statement so much. That statement is generally used by people who eat meat to feel better about eating meat. But let's swap it over to a human perspective. I have a pretty happy life. I feel good about my life right now. I'm very grateful for my life. If someone was to put a gun to my head or a knife to my throat and want to kill me, I'm pretty sure I would still be very upset about it. Just because I've had a good life doesn't mean I'm ready to die, doesn't mean I want to die, doesn't mean that will for survival isn't there. So regardless of whether a cow had a happy life, that doesn't justify the murder of it, just like it wouldn't justify the murder of a human. Number 7. What do you guys even eat? Vegans were portrayed as the people who would only eat a lettuce leaf or a carrot and only eat massive amounts of salad. To explain this correctly, I urge you to go on to Google Images or Pinterest or Instagram and type in vegan or vegan food and just look at all the options there are. I have had the most amazing vegan food that is 100 times better than anything I ate before I was vegan. Just to make sure that you're well informed on what we actually do eat. It's not all salad. It's definitely not all salad. Number 8. Where do you get your iron? So iron comes in 2 different forms. You have hem iron, which is basically means like blood iron, iron from things that were alive, iron from meat, from flesh, or you have non-hem iron, which is iron from plant foods. Non-hem iron wasn't taught about to people as much because it is a little more difficult for the body to digest. It doesn't mean it's not possible, it doesn't mean I'm lacking in my iron. I get more than enough iron. I don't take any iron supplements at all. I just make sure I eat a good amount of vegetables, especially dark green vegetables or dark green leafy vegetables like spinach and broccoli, things like that. It's super easy to get enough iron on a vegan diet. It is a case-by-case thing. However, I do know people who just can't, their bodies just will not process non-hem iron, but the majority of people are okay and thrive on plant-based iron. Number 9. Why don't you eat free-range eggs? I will not eat eggs, just to get that clear. Firstly, an egg to me is kind of like a chicken, period. It's an unfertilized chicken egg. If it was fertilized, it was going to be a chick. Unfertilized, it's just this weird slimy gloop inside of a shell that we kind of cook and eat. It's really gross when I think about it now, and it kind of makes me feel sick. The smell, I just hate it 100%. From a supermarket, boxes that are labelled free range are not necessarily the free range that we picture. Free range just means not battery caged. Just be aware if you are going to be buying free range eggs that from the supermarkets, make sure that the places that they're coming from are reliable and are checked frequently. I think free range eggs that come off your neighbour with their obvious free range chickens that run around all day, I think it's a good transition method for someone who's trying to be more aware about what they're eating, but I still will not eat eggs. There's nothing an egg will give me that plant-based foods won't give me. Number 10. Why do I not eat fish or seafood? This question came to me a lot as a vegetarian, but I was surprised how much it still came to me as a vegan. I think because fish don't necessarily bleed or are not red meat the same way land animals do. It's kind of ruined this connection between how alive they are and how much pain they feel. I think it's awful the way they die. They literally just suffocate. The second part about not eating seafood is the ocean is being destroyed by the amount of overfishing we are doing. It ruins the reef. It is destroying our planet to the point that by about 2025 to 2050 we are going to be running out of fish severely. There is going to be no fish left in our ocean, and I don't understand how that is not a big enough deal for a lot of people. Number 11, we have always eaten meat. Back in the day when we were cavemen, eating meat was what we had to do, and that was a survival instinct and a survival reason. We are eating meat now because of greed. This is not survival anymore. Not everyone on this planet is walking out and hunting their own food because we have no other options. Yes, we've always eaten meat because it's what's been taught to us from those survival stages, but now it's time to change into more plant-based foods because the deaths of animals are no longer necessary for our life. Number 12, meat is essential for our diet and for our bodies. This is not true. There is no nutrients or vitamins or anything that meat gives you that a plant cannot give you. The exception is B12, but there are many supplements for that. It can be as easy as 1 tablet a week. Meat, while giving you all these vitamins and minerals, will also give you risk of heart disease, higher risk of cancers, especially bowel cancers, higher cholesterol. You're adding more fats into your system. It is not healthy for your body, and it's very hard for your body to process also. So meat is not essential to our diet. You can get it all from plants, and better yet, they're not going to shorten your life by eating them. Number 13, you need to eat dairy to have strong bones. This is again a myth. Calcium does not only come in a dairy form, calcium comes in massive abundance in your plant foods also. Plant-based foods provide all the calcium that you need. Because milk has high acidity levels, so our body needs to alkalize this acidity from somewhere, and that actually gets leaches out from our bones, and it's the in and out effect of the calcium and the leaching that later in life gives us a higher form of osteoporosis, which is brittle bone disease. Then you can very easily eat your plant foods and get your calcium from it, and you're going to have healthy bones without compromising them later in life. Number 14, being vegan is expensive. I will admit that being vegan can be expensive. If you want to buy all the mock meats, all the vegan cheeses, all the supplements for your smoothies, everything top shelf. If you want to go into the supermarket and try and find packaged versions of vegan alternatives, it can get quite expensive, but it's eating seasonal food that's available to you, which will always be cheaper than trying to source out of season foods. There's actually a lot of inexpensive ways to eat vegan and still be able to eat exciting and good food. Number 15, animal slaughter is humane. This is hard. Right, if we were walking down the street, I walked up to someone, pulled out a gun, put it to their head and shot them, I'm pretty sure everybody would have a problem with it. But what if I turned around and went, no, don't worry, it was humane, they didn't feel a thing, they died instantly? There's still going to be a problem with it. Now try and take that connection and put it towards animals. Animals don't want to die. Just because we state that the method is quick and painless doesn't mean that it is humane. There is nothing humane about taking away someone's life. Number 16, but bacon though. Relax guys, it's a strip of pig flesh, it is not a tank of oxygen. Number 17, do you miss meat? No, I 100% do not miss meat in the slightest. I don't even think of it as a food anymore. It is a dead animal to me. I love my lifestyle and I love my diet and I don't wish to go back. And the last question number 18, how do I educate myself more about a vegan diet? There are plenty of resources out there if you really want to get into it and just understand it. I urge you to watch COWSPIRACY, which is an amazing documentary about how our diet affects the planet. There's also EARTHLINGS, which is about the animal industry, and then there is Forks Over Knives, which is more about what our diet does to our bodies. They are incredible documentaries and they are very insightful and they give you a lot of information. Also do your research. At the moment I'm listening to a lot of TED Talks and a lot of podcasts, which I'm really enjoying. There are some people who can phrase and summarize everything that I've been thinking 100 times better than I can. I'm also going to put a whole bunch of links down in the description box below for a bunch of YouTubers that I think you guys should all take a look at, and a whole bunch of documentaries that explain everything I'm trying to say in a lot more organized way. Anyway, thanks guys for watching that video about all the questions and statements I've been asked over the last couple of years. I will eventually do an updated video if I get asked any new questions, but those are the most general ones that I get asked. I'm also going to be doing a lot more of these videos in the future, and I'm also going to do more what I eat in a day as well, to try and crush the stigma that vegans only really eat a lettuce leaf or a whole bunch of salad for lunch. So subscribe to me below and you'll get some notifications when all of those come up. But otherwise, thanks for sitting through that, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye!